Hello, and welcome to this Buzz tutorial on how students can annotate images in Google Docs from within Buzz. Agilix has been hard at work this year creating some new CBT tools like the ruler and the protractor, creating the student annotation experience, and then also creating a simplified Dropbox for students. In this video tutorial, we're going to go over how students can annotate images in Google Docs that teachers have placed within Buzz. So first things first, I am in my teacher app. I know I'm in my teacher app because up in my left corner it says teacher app. I'm going to go to the course I want to create the student annotation experience in and go to my editor. I have some already created and set up. So I have a student annotation with an image assignment. To create this, what I did was I went to Add Activity, I went to Assignment, I put my instructions here, and then I can dress this up if I want to. To create the student annotation experience, I'm going to go to Settings. Under Settings, I'm going to go to my gradebook and submission box. Here, I'm going to go down to my submission settings and select Allowed Submission Types. I'm going to go to the bottom and click on Student Annotation, and then click off. You're going to notice now I have some things that have popped up for me. You can allow for multiple attachments if you want to, so if you have more than one image or doc, you can attach those. I'm going to click Choose Image. I'm going to choose a graph that's already saved into my Buzz, or I can upload from my computer, and I'm going to press Select. So this graph is now in here. For right now, I'm just going to choose and allow comments for the plane. And then I'm going to press Save. So you would do the same thing for the Google Doc as well. You would just go in and go back to your settings. Instead of choosing, you can remove this template. Instead of choosing image, I would just choose a Google file. I'd have to authenticate. And then I would choose my file that I want this to go on and press Save. So let's take a look at this from the student experience to see what the student will see. I'm going to go over to my student app. So as a student, I'm going to come into my course, click on Activities. I'm going to go down to the assignment my teacher has assigned for the day. So this is the annotation of images. In their Dropbox, you're going to see it says Image Annotation. They just need to click, and here's the image. So I'm to highlight and circle the peaks. So I can choose my shapes if I want to, and I can make my stroke purple, and I can make it wide if I want to. And then I'm going to draw my circle for the highest peak. Once I'm done drawing in my annotation of the image, I'm going to click Save Changes. And my changes have been saved in my submission box. Now, as a student, I can go back in and re-edit. I can put this out into another window if I need to. I can also download this, or I can get rid of it completely. When I'm ready, I'm just going to submit the work to my teacher. Same thing is true of the Google Docs. So if I go click up here to my next activity, this is my Google Doc file annotation. I'm going to read my directions, which says to read the passage and follow the prompts in the boxes. I'm going to click on the Google file annotation. It's going to copy the template to my Google Drive. and then I'm going to click Open. It's going to open a new tab. Here I can read and I can highlight. So right here, one of my activities is to highlight the definition for estuary. So I can go up here to my highlight color, choose my yellow, and I can highlight what the definition is. I can then scroll down, do the rest of my reading. Here's my next. After the John Smith explored and mapped the bay, what was the bay used for? So I could probably highlight or even type my answer right here if I wish to. Or again, I can highlight my answer. Again, because this is a Google assignment, I just click out of my tab. It'll be saved and I just submit my work to my teacher. Now I can go back home. So again, what does this look like now that my student has attached their annotations to the assignments? I'm going to switch back to my teacher app. I have assignments to grade. Here is the annotation of the image, and I can download this as well if I want to. As a teacher, I can look at this, I can leave them feedback, and I can give them the credit that they wish. I could also, if I want to, drag this over and draw on it as well to give them feedback. So I could probably do like a, hey, you forgot something here. Like, let's look at this here. And then save changes. And then this feedback will go to your student. Google Doc, annotations with Google. Again, I can open this up into a new window to see it all. So I'm looking at the assignment. My student did what they were supposed to do. Going back to Buzz, and I can do this right within here too if I wanted to. Notice I can also download a PDF of this just in case I need to save the first work because the student has more work to do. Maybe they did something incorrectly and I'm going to hand this back to them to give them a retry. So I could download. I could say, you know, this isn't quite right, so I'm going to allow a retry. That's my feedback to them. So right now I'm going to assign this probably like an 85 and then submit. So that's where we are with the student annotations. Again, they can do images and they can also do Google Docs. So you're going to notice I've got some things here. I can view my feedback as a student. I can go back to this assignment. I read my teacher's feedback. I'm going to go circle. Maybe I'm going to just put a little person there just to say, hey, it was here. Oh, where did he go? John Smith. There's John Smith. All right, my work is going to save. I can then resubmit my work to my teacher. And there's my image right there. And if I wanted to look at the feedback from my teacher, there's the feedback from my teacher with the annotation. So again, this is, students now have the ability to be able to annotate on documents and images that are uploaded into Buzz. Again, on the teacher side, how to do this. I'm going to go back to my teacher side. We go into our editor, create an assignment. In the assignment, go into your settings, go to your gradebook and submission box, select your submission type of student annotation, and then choose if it's a Google file or an image you want the students to annotate. One of the other new features that Agilix came out with this year is the simplified submission box. This was just released at the end of June, so it will be ready to go for the school year. If you are a teacher that has been using assignments and drop boxes all along, stay tuned because we will show you how you can get to those boxes quickly to make sure that they're still working and functional for your students. So the first thing in my teacher app, and again I know I'm in my teacher app if I look up to my left, I'm going to go into my editor. The simplified Dropbox is assigned to assignments and other activities, so I can click Add Activity. I'm going to choose an assignment. I can title this. You can even provide a theme, and then provide my directions. And again, as a teacher, I have all these tools at my availability to create. So I can even put a video in here, insert images, link out, anything I'd like to do for this. To create a simplified Dropbox for your students, you would go to Settings. So you can allow comments, and they provide a rich text or a plain text. Plain text means the students can just type in it. There's no toolbar. You can skip these altogether. When you click Allow Submissions Types, you can say, I just want them to be able to do a drawing this time, or I just want them to be able to do audio. And then press Save. So I do have a couple others here that I'll show you once we go over to the student side. I've got a simple submission with no comments whatsoever, and then we've got the plain, the rich text, and then the test we just created. So right now I'm going to switch over to my student side, and I'm going to enter my course. So for a student, for the simple Dropbox submissions, these are good for elementary kids because you're just giving them one thing that they have to do, and they have one button they're going to have to click. So in this one, I have no comments whatsoever, you're going to notice, but I did attach image, drawing, audio, video. And I can unselect as many of these as I want to and just have one show, or I can have multiple show. This could be good for a project where the kids get to choose and decide how they're going to submit the project to you. Again, as a teacher, I can edit this out where I can just have one of these show instead of all four showing. And that was our test that we just did, and I will show that to you. The next one is the plain text comment box, and then you're going to notice I did attach an image down here for the kids. So this says to provide a summary of today's lesson and upload an image of your experiment. So for this, I just click on my X here, and then I can just start typing. And then I can go to select the image, I can upload, or I can do a capture. So for a capture, students can click this. You're going to notice I show up here on the screen. They can hold a piece of paper up to the camera. Right? Maybe this is the insect they found. Capture. You're going to notice it now captures on the other side, and I can upload this. And then I can submit my work to my teacher. With the rich text, once they click again here, you're going to notice they have the same toolbar that they've always had. So if you are a secondary teacher or you're into 5th grade and you feel that the students are able to handle this type of toolbar, all you would do is on the back end click the rich text editor, and it will show up for the students. And then here's our test that we created when we first entered the video. Notice how it only shows audio, so students can only do an audio submission. So teachers really now have a ton of flexibility on how they want to set up assignments and how they want students to submit assignments, which is really nice. So again, I'm going to go back to my teacher app. To recap, you'd go into your editor on your teacher app for your course. Right, for my rich text editor, I went to Edit, I went to Settings, I selected Allow Comments, and then I just selected the Rich Text toolbar because again, this will have all of these options, so I don't need to click additional options unless I want the students to annotate. For the simple submission box, Edit again. Again, I'm going to go into Settings. Notice I did not allow comments, but I had selected image, draw, audio, and video. And again, I can take these out. So if I just want students to do an image, I can just leave it as they're just submitting an image. So this is really a nice way for teachers to be able to differentiate with assignments for students. Now, at the beginning of this section, we did comment about if you had previously already created assignments, you need to go back and check to make sure there is an editor there for the students. All right, you were not grandfathered in, unfortunately. So to do this, when you go to an active course, all right, we're going to select one of our active courses here. A quick way to do this is in your editor, go to your activity list. In your activity list, you actually get to select assignment, and here are all of your assignments. So I can now actually go in here and can edit, go to my settings, allow comments. I'm going to allow the rich text toolbar. Again, go to my next one, edit, settings, allow comments, save. And you can try to bulk if you want to, but this would just make it gradable. Unfortunately, I do not believe there is a way to bulk edit. I wish there was. Oh. So just check your stuff just to make sure that it's all there. All right. Again, we'd like to thank you for watching our video, and we hope that you find these new tools useful.